The adults here live in fear of being out as LGBTQ. And if the adults feel that way and the adults don't have protections, then how do you think our young people are going to feel?
When I was a preteen, I knew that something was wrong with me. Like, I was different. My family was really religious at the time. And so I was like, this is just wrong, I guess. And I would like punish myself. I was sitting in the front row of the church, and the guest speaker was right there, like only a few feet away from me. And he started talking about how, you know, America is going into the shitter due to the rampant homosexuality that's in the streets and in the Congress. And I knew that he was talking about me. He doesn't know that I'm experiencing what I'm feeling and that I'm going through it, that every time I have a feeling about a girl or whatnot, I'm taking a rubber band that's around my wrist and flicking myself, or going home and taking my hairbrush and beating myself, trying to get these thoughts out of my head. I first came to West Virginia. I was finishing up my last year of high school, and it was really difficult for me because, you know, I came from this little tiny town in Dover, Pennsylvania, and there I was like the only gay person. And then when I moved from Dover to Elizabethtown, there was more of a gay presence there. I came out as trans during my freshman year of high school. I was out as a lesbian at the time because I didn't know what I was. I was wearing all men's clothing, but I was very confused about what exactly I was, because I knew I was attracted to men, but I'd get in a relationship with them and it didn't work out. I was wondering like if there was something wrong with me. I met this girl named Paige in Elizabethtown in 9th grade, and she was like, hey, there's a GSA. Why don't you come there? I know you're a lesbian. It'll be great. I was like, oh, okay, cool. My first day there, I walk in, and there he is. This very tiny, 4 feet tall, trans guy in huge stiletto heels, wearing makeup, and he's like, hi, my name is Brett. I'm a trans guy, and I'm gay, and I'm a drag queen, and I'm fabulous. And I was like, yeah, that makes more sense than what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life here.
A pansexual person, the motto for pansexuals is hearts, not parts. Basically, we like a person for who they are. It doesn't matter what gender or sexuality they are. We just love people. Over the last year, you know, when I'm talking to people, you know, openly about this type of thing, you know, there have been like people from all age groups that say, I don't understand what pansexual means. And a lot of times people don't even understand what transgender means. Transgender is very personal for that person. It doesn't mean that they're automatically going to get, you know, SRS, otherwise known as sexual reassignment surgeries. You know, they may or may not. That's a personal choice. They may or may not go on hormone replacement therapy. You know, it's just a very personal journey for them.
And so I was like, okay, let me try to figure it out. And I experimented with my gender. You know, I went from wearing women's clothes to wearing men's clothes to really like trying to feel out what I was doing. And then I was like, yeah, I'm a man. I feel most comfortable in men's clothing, being masculine. I'd always been a really masculine child. And then that's when I realized, oh, I'm pansexual. I've always been attracted to men. It's just I'm not attracted to them as a girl. I can't play that role because they'd come up to me and be like, hey, baby, you're really cute, trying to hold the door open for me. And I'm like, man, I don't want your roses. I don't want your chocolate. I don't want you to hold the door open for me. Can we just like wrestle and then maybe make out afterwards? You know, that'd be really cool. I'm totally down for that. So I went from, you know, being in a very positive queer space, being a member of something, of a group, and then I came to Beckley, West Virginia, and I was like, hey guys, what's up? I'm Aaron, I'm trans, you know, where's your GSA? And they were like, what's a GSA? Like, what are you talking about?
My oldest son is female to male, and he actually transitioned here in West Virginia. And a lot of people are surprised by that, even though the per capita here is more so than anywhere else in the United States for transgender. He transitioned as a senior in high school here at a local high school, went on HRT, and we dealt with a lot of things within the school system here.
My name legally is something completely different from Aaron, but I've been Aaron since I was 15. You know, that's who I am. Like, my mom doesn't call me anything else than Aaron. You know, even my grandmother, who is a pastor of our own church in Baltimore, she doesn't call me by my birth name. That's just not a thing. Everybody knows me as Aaron. I'm a boy, that's how it goes. And so it was really frustrating when I was in a creative writing class with my girlfriend, and that's how I met her. And the teacher there was super conservative. She wanted to call me by my birth name. She was like, it's such a pretty name for such a pretty girl like you. I just hate to call you Aaron because, you know, your birth name is so much prettier and more fitting. And I was like, really? You know, I've been on testosterone for 2 years, but it wasn't like I'm a different person now than I was back then. I just look different physically. So I had to get the guidance counselor, and she got a warning. And she was like, okay. And then she started back again. And I was like, are you kidding me? And it wasn't until the third time where the guidance counselor was like, look, you're gonna lose your job unless you call him by his name. And she was like, fine. And she finally backed off.
And then there was the issue of, okay, what bathroom does your son use in school?
The bathrooms. I'm trans. Bathroom's always an issue, and I'm just gonna put this out here. If you are a person that has used a public bathroom, there's been a trans person that's peed next to you and you've been fine. Like when I go to the bathroom, I use the male bathroom, you know, because I shave my beard a little bit, but I normally have like a thicker, fuller beard. So I use the male bathroom, I go in the stall, I pee, I do my business, I wash my hands, and I leave. Like it's not a big deal. But it was a big deal in the Beckley High School. They didn't want me to use the male bathroom. It was funny because the principal pulled me aside and he was like, so I know you're trans, I know you go by Aaron, but have you had any surgery done, you know? A principal asking me, a 17-year-old, if I have a...
We came to an agreement with the school that they were going to let him use the teacher's lounge bathroom.
I get these questions all the time. So when people are blunt with me like that and they're rude about it, I try to make them as uncomfortable as possible because that's your punishment for embarrassing me and treating me like I'm some animal in the zoo, which I'm not. I'm a human being. I'm not a freak. I'm just different. So I told him, I'm like, well, I have a packer, which a packer is something that trans guys use. It looks like a penis, you put it in your pants, and it just creates the shape of a penis. So I was like, I got a packer, which looks like a penis, and I have it in my pants right now. Do you want to see it? I can whip it out right now. You want me? He was like, no, please don't. Keep it, I don't want to, no, okay? So, and he was like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Since you got a fake dick in your pants, we can't have you use the ladies' room, because you're just so weird. So we're gonna have you use the staff bathroom that's in the office.
It took one time for one teacher to question why he was using the bathroom to where he felt like he was singled out yet again. My son, in coming out and being visible as a trans young man in high school, brought 20 other kids at least to him, you know, for support, saying, hey, I identify as transgender too, but I can't tell my parents because they've threatened to disown me if I identify that way, or they've threatened to kick me out, they've threatened conversion therapy.
A lot of people, you know, they saw me coming out and fighting the system, and they were just like, this guy can do it, I can do it too. And unfortunately though, one of my biggest regrets is that I had to leave West Virginia and I wasn't able to create the GSA that I wanted to here for all of the queer people. Here, if you don't have a support system, it's very isolating. You're alone. You don't know who you are. You don't know what's what. Like, I know that I'd never heard of gay people, you know, until I was a preteen. So I was like experiencing feelings towards girls at a young age, and I was like, what is this?
There are those of us in the community that can speak out, that do have a voice for so many other people that don't. There was a group that was started, an LGBTQ group, that's a private group here. People are astonished that there's that many people in our group. And I keep saying, but there's so many more that we don't even know, that we're not even reaching, because we're literally reaching them by word of mouth, which takes time. And we haven't even been doing this a year. Back in 2014, there was the same ordinance, you know, presented to the city council. And after it was shot down and everything happened, there was another exodus happening here in Beckley and the surrounding areas of Beckley, where, you know, people didn't feel welcome. They were afraid to be here and to even raise their families here if they identified as lesbian or gay or whatever on the spectrum, you know.
This is a part of me. It's always been a part of me. And it took me a really long time to accept and love myself for who I am. And I'm like, I'm trans. And people are like, what is that? And they ask me questions. I've been asked like everything in the world. And I try not to be offended. And I try to be patient. And I try to be educational and informative. I'm trying to make the world a better place so that what happened to me, being bullied and being like death threats sent to you on the daily, I don't want that to happen to anybody else. And I would love a world where we can all just be who we are and nobody gives a shit. Like, why does it even matter? We haven't gotten to the step where everybody's accepting, but I'm sure we can make it there someday. It's just gonna be a fight, tooth and nail and claw, but I just know that I'm never going to give up, because everyone deserves to just live their life, be happy, and be who they are.
We want all great things for Beckley, but Beckley has to want good things for Beckley. You know, we have to create a more diverse community in order for that to happen. We try to dehumanize people that aren't like us, and I don't know why we do that. You know, we can accept so many differences and so much diversity in nature, but when it comes to human beings, we want to be critical.
I read a post one time that explains it perfectly. It was like, imagine you had a penis on your elbow, okay? It's fully functional, it works. You know, you can get somebody pregnant with it, it's just on your elbow. Would you keep the penis on your elbow? No! You can't wear short sleeve shirts. You can't walk around with your penis flopping around. You want to get that removed. That's what trans people feel like. Our parts don't feel like our parts. You know, just like my chest, people are like, why would you want to bind? What's wrong with your boobs? I'm like, there's nothing. It's just the fact I have boobs. Because I know that people look at my boobs, they think female, they think this is not a man, and it upsets me. It makes me, as we call it, dysphoric. It makes me sad, it makes me angry, it makes me upset, because all I want to do is just be a man. I just want to live and be a gay man in this world. At work, I'm not out. I couldn't get a job as Aaron. It's an open secret that they know I'm trans. Like, everybody knows I'm trans. And it's so frustrating and I hate it all the time. But there's nothing I can do, like, because this is who I am and I can't change it. No matter what anybody says, this is who I am. What I think about is the man I'm gonna be someday, that nobody's gonna think is trans. A man who's gonna go to college, get a degree, and just be with my husband and have a good life without having to deal with any of the shit. And that's just why I do this. So I can have that someday.